founder of the Wildflower Institute says her goal is to work with groups to bring awareness. Minister of Culture is challenging everyone to send out the best Flag Day greeting. But first up, President of Parliament says he believes we are programmed to look at each other differently. Those are the headlines for Friday, June the 12th, 2020. This is SXM Daily News. I'm Valerie Van Putten. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. We have a packed newscast for you, so let's get started. In our first story for this evening, in solidarity with the global outpouring of support for George Floyd, who died at the hands of a police officer in Minnesota almost 3 weeks ago, the Century Hill Foundation, led by Henry Brookson, held a manifestation on Friday at the Peace Monument in Phillipsburg. The event Friday morning was attended by several persons coming from a cross-section of the community. During the manifestation, attendees at the function showed support by reciting a poem, drumbeat of freedom, speeches, and the laying of wreaths at the foot of the Peace Monument. During the event, persons also paid homage to Mitch Henriquez, who was killed while in the custody of Dutch police. Master of Ceremony Oswald Francis told the gathering that we were gathered today in solidarity because it only takes a spark to get a fire burning. The whole world is standing up against injustice. Meanwhile, President of Parliament, the Honorable Rolando Bryson, says he believes that we are programmed to look at each other differently.
A few weeks ago, the soul of humanity was shattered when we witnessed a callous, wicked, vicious, and sadistic police officer snuff the life out of one of our brothers. And as Dr. Martin Luther King said, a threat to justice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And therefore, we have gathered here today in solidarity because it only takes a spark to get the fire going. And we have seen how from Minneapolis right down to the whole of the United States, whole of North America, down to Africa, Asia, the whole world is standing up against injustice, inequality, human rights violation, in short. And today we are doing the same.
Really recognize that what I believe is a conscionable issue that is lying in the minds of so many of us that programs us to one extent or the other to look at each other differently. Because I think that's in essence what the problem tends to boil down to. I remember taking for granted an incident that took place. I just came to the Netherlands to study, and I was on a train, back then the young guy with the baggy jeans and the nice gold chain, and I jumped onto a train, and I'm sitting close to a lady, an elderly lady. When I was getting up and it was time to stop, I could see she was trying to get up and get out of the train as well. So what I did, I reached out to this lady to help her from her chair. And she immediately screamed, she said, "Ah!" And she held her bag and clutched it because she was afraid of what this brown-skinned guy, why was he reaching out? In my heart, I knew I was just doing something to help her. But I laughed it off at the moment and said, nah, you know what, this is Holland, maybe, they're not as open as we are in St. Martin. And I ignored that for the rest of my life. Until I started to really monitor what's happening in the world over the last decade, especially over the last year. And I realized that that little incident could have been completely different. Because I could have reached out to that lady with my honest intention to help her. She could have screamed that way. A police officer could have been behind me, see that scene, tackle me down. I, knowing that I did nothing wrong, could have got up and said, I'm going to resist. And he would then press his knee on my neck and keep me down because he just thinks this is a person of color trying to attack an elderly lady. And I would have screamed, I can't breathe, and he still would have kept his knee on my neck. And today, I would not be here with you. millions of those type of little incidents happen every day. It unfortunately takes maybe 1 million or 1,000 or whatever number of them to lead to the death of our people. And that is why when people say, yeah, but why are we so focused on one incident? No, it is the many incidents of racial discrimination, of having a predisposed notion to what it means that this person in front of me is different. And should I fear that person? Should I think that person is a problem in my society? Those incidents add up to eventually lead to tragedy, to war, to inequality. And that is what I believe this fight is about.
And still to come, acting governor says it's about time the world realizes there is only one human race. We'll have the details to that story and much more when SXM Daily News returns.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
And still at a manifestation earlier today at the Peace Monument in Phillipsburg, Acting Governor, the Honorable Reynold Groeneveld, speaking at the event, said it is about time the entire world realized that there is only one human race. And publisher and political analyst Joe Lake Jr. said, we need St. Martin to be a society of moral superpower.
Here today in support of the movement. I think it's about time that the entire world realize that there is only one human race, and that is humanity. There is no white race, a black race, a brown race. We are all children of God, and we all deserve to be treated and respected as such. During my earlier years, I lived for 5 years in the Netherlands. And then already, and I just heard the President of Parliament made a remark to an event that happened to him, and I can count many events that also happened to me during my time living in Holland, especially taking into consideration that I have a typical Dutch name, Groeneveld. But we will not go into that. I say that to say this, that I am not surprised to see the many persons on the dam and recently on the Nelson Mandela Plain in the Netherlands who are also protesting what has taken place in the United States. It's about time, I repeat again, that all people realize that there are different ethnicities, there are different groups of people, but all of us were created by God. God is the one who gave life, and no man should take another person's life, especially because of the color of his skin. I hope that this is the last time in our world that something like this happens. And I would pray and hope that all classes of people, because in all groups we have the good, we have the bad, we have the ugly, but all of us deserve to live, we deserve equal opportunities, we deserve respect, we deserve equal treatment. And I hope that that is what will come out of this. It's very sad that Floyd and Mitch Henriquez and others had to lose their life, but it's about time now that the world change. And I thank you all for coming out. Thank you for showing your support, and we will continue to make sure that people respect each other and love each other.
And our dream is for St. Martin to be a society, a moral superpower, that could stand up anywhere in the world and people will listen to what we said. Because not only will we meet and march and give ideas, but we will live it. We will show the rest of the Caribbean, we will show the rest of the military superpowers in this world that there's a moral superpower that we as a St. Martin people will give an example to the world. And that when we talk, everyone will listen because we will be saying what we truly believe and also acting it out. There will be no St. Martin where we will run down people as if they're animals because they have a different nationality, or where we will forget that men and women are equal, or where we will justify violence by one person as he or she deserves it. It must be a St. Martin of morality, a St. Martin in which all of us, every one of us, do our duty in order to make our society a much better place for all human beings. There will be no more talk of immigrations running down people, our black people and white people and brown people in the streets of St. Martin because they don't have a paper that says at that specific moment that they're so-called legal or illegal. And therefore that gives the society the right to treat them like less than human beings. That must never happen again in St. Martin. It happened before. Many of us experienced it. Many of us fought against it. And now, today, it seems to be, as we face economic hardships, the easiest thing is to blame somebody else. To say the reason that we're suffering is not because of what has happened international, but no, it's because of these people here, and somehow or the other we believe it doesn't even make good economics. That the less people we have on the island, the stronger will be our economy. The history of St. Martin has been clear. In the 1800s, the late 1800s, we stood there and there were 90% of the people on this island were St. Martiners. Yet we had to leave and go away to look for work. Today we have the opportunity for others to come here. The Caribbean is one society. We move as one people. We have the one history and the one culture. And the culture is white, black, green, purple, and pink. And we can never justify running down our people or running down other Caribbean people or other people, human beings, wherever they're from, in such a manner because it makes some of us feel that it like lead to us getting political votes.
Now, turning to our weather forecast for June the 12th, 2020. Available moisture in the atmosphere may cause a few brief showers during this forecast period. A weak Atlantic high-pressure system will generate mostly light winds across the region. Seas are expected to remain slight for the next few days. So the outlook through Sunday midday, fair to partly cloudy with a brief local shower possible. Now, let's turn to your 3-day forecast. And still to come, founder of the Wildflower Institute says her goal is to work with groups to bring awareness. We'll have the details of that story and more when SXM Daily News returns.
Make use of WIB mobile banking with easy access and direct usage of face recognition, PIN code, or fingerprint. Download WIB mobile banking app and make your transaction from anywhere at any time. For more information, visit wib-bank.net/quick-login.
And as we continue now with more news at this time, founder of the Wildflower Institute, Cassandra Richardson, speaking to our news department recently about her new venture, the founder said the plan is to work with the population and groups to bring awareness, even though there is no physical building right now because of the COVID-19 pandemic. However, one of the areas that she will be concentrating on is domestic violence.
We started, like, it was established really with the paperwork and everything right before COVID, right before the crisis, right? And so we were in the middle of getting everything sort of established, concretized, and then this pandemic happened. So no physical building as of now, even though I have been still in my capacity of, having the experience and working with certain populations in particular aspects like domestic violence and other things. We still bring awareness. We were bringing awareness during the time of the lockdown, of the COVID, just to remind our population that this is a very important and necessary aspect that we have to pay attention to, because that's a large segment of the population that without the awareness, without the education, is impacted negatively. So rightfully said, like you said in the beginning, that during times of crisis, we see a lot of domestic violence rises. So when we had Irma, when we had Maria, and I'm sure, when we had Lewis as well, even though I wasn't that attuned to what was happening, is that we saw the domestic violence incidents rise, right? So we were getting a lot of calls, and a lot of people were impacted by this. COVID was no different. So even though I had left the post of being the director of the Safe Haven Foundation, I was still getting a lot of calls for assistance. And it's tough because persons were basically trapped in the homes, right? So they couldn't really do anything besides try to fill their toolbox with any sort of education that they could maneuver the situation inside of the house. And besides, just telling them and referring them, you can always call the police if this escalates, that sort of thing, and from whatever channels and whatever processes and procedures that go after that. But I had lots of interesting calls too of men that called, and not necessarily as victims. These were men that was actually very reflexive about their behavior, and which I thought was actually kind of really cool. Not to say that you condone the behavior, but I was very proud that they recognized that something was wrong, and they wanted to do, because you're trapped in a house for a very long time with another person, right? So it puts a different sort of lens on the situation, because there's no way to go. There's no bar to attend. There's no person to reach out to. There's no other sorts of avenues to take away your, might be a good or a bad thing, but to take away your attention about the situation, right? So all you know is that you're feeling this tension constantly, and there's no way for you to sort of let off. If you are a reflexive person, which these people were, thankfully, and they picked up, they hunt me down on Facebook, and they sent me a private message, and I was like, okay, let's sort of like discuss and talk about that.
And in this item from the FCCA, cruise line executives and destination stakeholders from the Caribbean, Central and South American, and Mexico gathered in a different way this year with the annual land-based event of Florida Caribbean Cruise Association, the FCCA, launching online. Its regular scheduled programming of meetings and networking functions plan to be hosted in Jamaica, while also offering opportunities to experience new destination developments and initiatives. Instead, took place via Zoom on Friday, June the 5th, with more than 40 executives from FCCA member lines, which represent about 95% of the global ocean cruising capacity and over 35 destination partners. While social distancing certainly is not normal, a feature of our events, this may have served as one of the most important in our history, said Michelle Page, president of the FCCA. Our partners are planning for the restart of cruise tourism and its vital economic contribution that will help restore normalcy to people's lives. So there is a clear purpose to everything we do during these trying times, and we know things can be even better as long as we work together. The event launched with a welcoming address by Honorable Edmund Bartlett, Minister of Tourism of Jamaica, sharing hope and progress that could prove for Jamaica and the Caribbean possibly benefiting from the global pandemic through the proactive actions taken by so many. Steps the cruise lines have made, along with the significance of partnerships between cruise lines and destination stakeholders, were also on display through addresses including Bailey's, along with Richard Sasso, chairman of MSC Cruise USA, praising Platinum members and the overall industry for handling the adversity. The sign of great companies or individuals or associations is not what they do day to day, is not what they have to do in normal business or normal personal life. It's how they behave when there is an adversity, he said. And I think I could proudly say for the FCCA, our stakeholders, partners, particularly our platinum partners, and certainly all of us individually have really come up to the task, the release reads in part. And still to come, Minister of Culture is challenging everyone to send out the best Flag Day greeting. We'll have the details of that story when SXM Daily News returns. And as we end this edition of SXM Daily News for this evening, Minister of Culture, Youth, Sports, Dr. Anders Rodolph Samuel, speaking about Flag Day, which will be observed on Saturday, June the 13th, the minister is asking everyone to incorporate 3 sentences. He is challenging everyone to send out the best Flag Day greeting.
I am asking everyone, and especially our young people, to send out a St. Martin Flag Day greeting via the social media. In your greeting, I would like you to incorporate 3 sentences. This is St. Martin flag. This is my flag. This is our flag. And I challenge you to send out the best St. Martin Flag Day greetings. Have a wonderful St. Martin Flag Day.
We are the members of the Elite Swaligas Toastmasters Club.
Some of us may be away from home, but that's okay, because home is always with us. Here's a few things that makes us proud of being a St. Martiner. Happy Flag Day to everyone.
What inspires me about St. Martin is that whenever St. Martin goes through a natural disaster like Hurricane Irma, St. Martin has come back stronger and better. St. Martin strong.
St. Martin, a place filled with many cultures, a place filled with loving people, kind, friendly, and helpful. This is my home, and I love it most, especially in these beautiful beaches.
Rally, rally, round the national flag. Rally, 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 round the national flag. One people, one island, St. Martin. Working together, making a bridge of togetherness. Happy Flag Day, everyone.
Oh, sweet St. Martin's land. so bright by beach and strand, with strong and resilient people, withstanding each and every obstacle. My name is Daniela Maku, and I would like to wish the people of a happy Flag Day.
What inspires me about St. Martin is the people. We are all one. I am SXM proud.
For more than 300 years we've been living together, French and Dutch, so peacefully. We would like to wish the people of St. Martin a happy Flag Day.
What makes me proud of being a St. Martiner is just knowing that many of us has left home and we're no longer just a dot on the map. We've left our mark all around this world. They know who we are now. We're St. Martin proud.
St. Martin is strong. St. Martin is resilient. St. Martin is my home. Happy Flag Day.
And with that, everyone, brings us to the end of the SXM Daily News for this evening. I am Valerie Van Putten, and just a reminder that this and other programs are available online. Simply log on to stmartinmediacenter.com for viewing. And on behalf of the SXM Daily News team, we thank you so much for watching and plan on meeting you right back here again on Monday.